200 pounds of man get into the ring with Davarryl Williamson. It's Friday Night Fights. The main event is coming up next.
Tale of the Tape is brought to you by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly.
We're set for tonight's main event on Friday Night Fights, presented by Miller High Life from Chester, West Virginia. Heavyweights taking center stage. 34-year-old Davarryl Williamson was a decorated U.S. amateur, a three-time U.S. champion, and an alternate, the 1996 Olympic team. As a pro, 16-1, 15 knockouts. He has a master's degree from Northern Michigan University, and he earned a degree in the boxing ring in his last fight against tough guy Dale Crow. He dropped him 3 times in round number 1, went to work on a cut over the left eye of Crow, and in round number 3, the bout was stopped, and Williamson had a big notch on his young belt. Tonight he takes on T-Rex Corey Sanders, the Washington, D.C. native, 23-6, 15 knockouts. He is a big heavyweight, and I mean big. 313 pounds. He's been in against some pretty good competition, losing to Michael Grant back in 1996 and losing a 10-round tough decision to Andrew Galata. He had a big win against Oleg Moskayev in his last outing. He was losing in that fight, but he stopped him in round 8. In his fight against Wolfgram back in August of last year, well, it was a slow pace, but Sanders got things going. He's an exuberant guy. He thought the fight was over. Referee said, hey, you're not done with your work. And Sanders went in and finished what he started out to do, and that was to get a victory. Sanders is a big man. Williamson is giving away over 100 pounds. How does Davarryl deal with the size of Sanders?
I know he's a big guy. He's powerful. He has a very good left hook. But some of his technical skills are a little suspect in terms of movement and things of that nature. So I'm going to be trying to move and box him and hit without getting hit.
I'm a big guy. It's going to be hard for him to move me around, so I'm going to have to move him around. You know, and William jab, throw to the, but I ain't really no jab. I ain't really no boxer type dude. I'm a baller. You know, I like to fight.
It's a huge step up. I mean, I'm boxing a guy who has experience, who has the weight, who has the reach. He's younger. I mean, he's big enough to be able to switch. I mean, he's so big. I just, you know, I'm going to do my thing, and I want to show the world that I'm a small heavyweight, but I'm a very, very powerful heavyweight.
Tonight gonna be the biggest statement of my life, because every fight from here on out, well, it's been that way since I've been back, but every fight is a must-win situation. It's like I'm dying. If I lose, then I died in a boxing, and I can't die, man.
Both guys ready to go. Corey Sanders took 2 years off to have that left eye repaired. He had a detached retina, got the sunglasses on, but he has to checked out by a doctor before every fight. Boy, a fun-loving guy. We got reports that today at the pool he was doing cannonballs all afternoon. And at 313 pounds, that pool is down quite a bit of water. 23-6, 15 knockouts, coming off the win against Moskayev, as a win against Terrence Lewis as well. So what are some of the finer points in this fight for Corey Sanders? Teddy Atlas has them.
Well, first of all, for Corey Sanders to pull off the win here, do not reach in. If you reach in with that jab, you'll leave yourself open to that big right hand. Also, the second thing, go deep sea fishing. Get Williamson, the less experienced Williamson, into the late rounds where you could test his toughness. Get him into the deep waters. Also, be a bulldozer. Force Williamson back. He has a habit of going straight back sometimes. Force him back and catch him retreating with your big left hook.
Well, Davarryl Williamson is 34 years of age, a long-time amateur. Real personable guy, played some college football, NAIA level. He's giving away over 100 pounds, 16-1, 15 knockouts. He's got that win against Dale Crow as part of his last fight. We last saw him on Friday Night Fights in November against Andrei Kopylov, a third-round stoppage. So what are the keys for Davarryl Williamson, Teddy?
Well, Williamson is going to keep going up the ladder. Do the right thing. The thing that makes you a prospect is that big power and that big right hand. Land it. Also, show a repertoire of punches. Empty the toolbox. Show that you have more than just the right hand. Use the left hand to set up that right hand. Maybe the left uppercut. Also, ring around the collar. You better use that ring. Sanders, we said it, he's the bigger man. Don't let him trap you on the ropes where he can keep you still. Circle around, get angles.
You guys are both a little higher. This is going to be
Williamson to the right was the Susan Lucci of U.S. Amateur Boxing, a 3-time U.S. champion, but he always came up just a bit short when it came time to make the Olympic team. You got to look at the referee, Dave Johnson, 3 knockdown rule in effect, standing 8 count. Fighter cannot be saved with the bell in any round. Accidental foul. They'll go to the scorecards after 3 rounds are complete. So Williamson trying to make his mark in the pro game. 2 very personable men, 2 fun guys to be around, and 2 guys who know each other going back to their high school days in Washington, D.C. Williamson was an outstanding football player in the Washington, D.C. area. In fact, Sanders and his family wound up going to Roosevelt High School because of Williamson's success as a football player. Now they are in the ring, squaring off.
Williamson, one of those good amateurs that's not thought of as much, obviously, as the Olympic kids, as a big prospect. I believe Williamson can be a big prospect. This fight will tell a lot as far as how real that is. 5-time national amateur champion, Williamson.
I think one of the things in the last couple of years that really benefited Williamson in the amateur game, Teddy, especially in the U.S. program and all those international meets, he was so much older, especially on the U.S. level, than everybody. He was just more mature. Married man, got a couple of kids, got a master's degree, took advantage of that U.S. amateur boxing program at Northern Michigan University in Marquette, Michigan.
Very good point, Bob. Fighting a lot of younger fighters, not having that edge and maturity in the pro ranks.
We heard Sanders say that he's just a brawler. He said, I don't bother with the jab stuff and all the boxing skill. I just want to brawl.
One thing Sanders must do that he did not do a moment ago, which may be important as the night goes on. He must, when he gets in close with the speedier Williamson, he must work, not do what he just did a second ago, get tied up. He is not going to outspeed or outwork Williamson on the outside.
I'd like to see Williamson use that jab a little bit here.
Yes, you would. Control that distance. One way to do it is to use that jab and not get caught going straight back, which is what Sanders is trying to do. Both sides know what they want. Sanders wants to bulldoze, as we said in Atlas World, push Williamson back and catch him vulnerable.
And if Williamson doesn't use that jab, he enables Sanders to use his body to do that bulldozer.
Yes, he will. To get him vulnerable, get him exposed, get Williamson pulling out with his head up where he can step with him and nail him on the back end. Or trap him on the ropes like that, or push him back on the ropes like that, and then go to work. That is what Sanders has in mind. Of course, Williamson, on the other end, has the opposite. Use the ring, use the legs, get angles, get moments, get slots, get spots, and in the end, land that right hand.
Williamson looks like a middleweight in there against Sanders. He's giving away 112 pounds, 102 pounds.
Right. Come on, get out.
Welcome back to Chester, West Virginia, the corner of Corey Sanders. 313 pounds coming into this fight. So if you take Davarryl Williamson and you throw in a Brian Valoria and take away 12 pounds, you get one Corey Sanders. Of course, Valoria had a technical draw tonight as Alberto Rosell was cut by an accidental clash of heads in the 3rd round. Rosell being taken for an MRI after that clash of heads. Just checking him out.
Has anybody seen Brian Valoria? He may have been eaten
by Sanders.
By Corey Sanders. Like in George, you open him up and Brian might pop out and say, hey, hi, I'm here. Thank you.
See, Williamson outlanded Sanders 13-2. 8 jabs, 5 power shots.
It's a matter of Sanders punching at the right time. Punching when he notices Williamson is stepping back. When Williamson's feet are not set.
Davarryl Williamson and the red devoted family man. He and Sanders from the same mean streets of Washington, D.C. Williamson's father was incarcerated for 8 years. His mother battled drug problems. He lived with a foster home. He said, I saw more people shot and killed and stabbed by the time I was 13 than most people would see in 10 lifetimes. But he said, I was determined to not let my environment drag me down. I was going to make something positive of my life. And now he's a happily married man with a couple of kids.
Heads, guys. Ho, 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 ho.
Master's degree. A great story to Davarryl Williamson.
All that's good about boxing, why we should have a national commission. Boxing saves young men, makes kids into men.
Let go, don't punch. Get out.
Does a lot more than a lot of these politically contrived programs that spend millions of dollars but get very little results. Boxing helps people, helps society.
And when Williamson was talking about athletes that get in trouble and they use the crutch of the environment that they came from, their background, he says no one can